So they're going to draw up. Now, Alec, if he wins this, if he goes 2-0 here, also going to put him in a really good position at 6-2, which is very close to probably ensuring a top 3.
Yeah, I think if Aaron or Pacer manage 2-0 the other, I'm pretty sure they've pretty much punched their ticket. Alec will need to win this game, and then he probably can get by with the split.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. Yeah, the field has been pretty even today. Last round we had, I think, 4 3-1 matchups.
And don't forget, whoever comes in fourth place will have an alternate spot just in case something happens and somebody can't show up to the finals. In Atlanta, I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue, but when we get to these out-of-town things, stuff could happen to affect travel.
And I think these are going to be some guys who we'll see again at later dates at some other stores too. So they'll have, further chances. David drew an extra card on accident. He's letting Alex sort of
shuffle
it back in. And they're both fine with that.
All right, David's sitting on a stem hack, a data sucker, Grimoire, Dirty Laundry, and I can't see the last one. No breakers, no searching though.
Blue Sun's going to install, and take a credit. I think we saw 1 Caduceus, so has some early ice, which is pretty relevant. Something people don't really, something people do take for granted in Blue Sun is that the early ice is arguably some of the most important ice because you really do need to keep out the runner while you're trying to build your board state up.
They assume they're going to draw that oversight AI every hand,
right?
And you're not
at all. And as somebody who ran the 6 agenda Blue Sun, you oftentimes draw more agendas than you do oversights. It doesn't make sense, but it happens. 6 agendas, and you draw 5 of them. It's infuriating.
At least it makes for a quick game.
Yeah.
So there's a Caduceus we see getting some money, and then he's going to get a little more money back for popping it back, I assume.
Yeah, Caduceus, really, really great early ice for Blue Sun.
Dirty Laundry on R&D. Oh, Dirty Laundry on Archives, I think.
And then passes the turn. So Alec not going to bounce the Caduceus. Draws another one for click 1.
There's a snatch and grab sitting in his hand. And what it looks like Adonis, maybe?
I think so. I think that's what we saw. And he does run 1.
So
interesting.
Seems like a card you own more than one of, though.
Yeah, some really interesting influence use here. Well, and the great thing about Adonis is that it's got really good economy.
Blue Sun,
Blue Sun in particular.
Take it for 3 and then pop it back and use it again. I guess you really don't need more than 1.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you see it, which I guess is probably the rationale behind a lot of these inclusions here.
High risk investment coming in. Installs a new piece of ice. And there's one more sitting in there. What's that? No, that's the curtain wall.
So he drops that on a remote and then takes money. So David
needing to see some economy here.
Yeah, he's going to see it soon. Oh, well, there's a Yogg.
And R&D.
Sees the data pike. Gets in for free.
Nothing. Looked like a nice wall, maybe?
Couldn't tell. Hard to see. Picks up the data pike for 4. It was indeed a nice wall. So I would expect him to drop that. Yep, in front of R&D. He's going to install the Jackson in the remote.
Just go ahead and res it and draw.
Yep. He's hoping to find some more money cards. He's got, 3 agendas in hand, so yeah. Oh, no, 2.
Yeah, he's got a curtain wall on the board. He's looking for that oversight.
He's actually going to keep one of them. He's going to keep the NAPD. Looked like he dropped a piece of ice and another agenda in the trash.
I mean, David is sitting relatively low on credits. The NAPD should be pretty easy to score out with any sort of ice.
Res his Caduceus. Gets his 3 and ends the run.
And David, I think, is frustrated here because he has a lot of good cards, a lot of these late game cards he wants to see.
Yeah. He's just got to get there first.
Yeah, I mean, he has the stem hack, but he wants the SMC to go find stuff. Yeah. He has the Dirty Laundry, but he can't really get anywhere.
And Alec draws into a Hive. Great card in Blue Sun. Because you often don't end up scoring a whole lot early.
Yeah, especially in these Glacier types. Oh, and there's the
oversight from Jackson. You got to think he's going to use that on Curtain Wall. And he does. He installs, what, maybe a hive in front of it?
Yeah. He's going ahead and creating that scoring server now, getting ready for later. Because as soon as that oversight fires off and he pops it back, he's going to have a pretty safe window for that NAPD.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he didn't put the curtain wall back down and then install advance the NAPD.
And he has the ice wall out, and the little ice wall is going to keep him out.
And there's the 14 from curtain wall. So see what he decides to do with this. It's going to depend also on his draw, because he will probably have to discard something.
Sack Jackson to do it. Yeah.
And Hadrian's.
Well, now Hadrian's is almost as good at keeping somebody out in this early game, and it saves you $4.
Yeah, honestly, I would think about just installing curtain wall on a remote. Oh, but he's not going to. Like a new remote and just.
So yeah, there's the.
So drops the Hadrian in front of Jackson.
Now he can have that scoring window, but he's gonna have to go up his Jackson to do it. And I don't know if he's happy with his hand right now. Although he has one agenda, in archives, and he has the oversight in archives, so it won't kill him to sack the Jackson right now.
No. But maybe waiting till the end of this turn.
So now he's let David get up in credits because he's sitting at 15, so maybe that server's not as secure as it was.
So he's gonna Jackson, and then pop Jackson.
Puts down the NAPD, puts down the oversight, and third card I wasn't able to see.
Yeah, me neither.
I do hear Michael frustrated by something off camera.
My bet would be that he will install an advance now in that remote. You got to think he's still confident, having not seen a barrier breaker out and knowing the size of those pieces of ice.
Yeah, seeing no SMC, and I'm pretty sure they're two different. No, they're both barriers. So if he gets that Croter, he can get in there, but he's going to go broke doing it. And given that that's an NAPD, that's going to be an awfully close shave.
I don't think he drew it. So I think he's going to have to resign himself to seeing that NAPD scored. Although, as a runner, not something you are too worried about. It's at least an agenda that doesn't really do anything when it's scored.
Yeah, and I think he may. He's installed these two data suckers here with tokens on them.
Right.
Maybe trying to run archives, give him some money in exchange for some data sucker tokens.
He's got to find a way in. Those Caduceus are keeping him out for now, unless he wants to pay for the trace. So back to David after the NAPD score. I think he has two I've Had Worse in hands.
He's going to play one of them.
He sees another I've Had Worse and a data sucker.
Yep. He's trying to burn through that deck. He needs anything to get through these pieces of ice, and he's just not seeing it, man.
Parasite will do something for a turn, and then Blue Sun will pick up the piece of ice, and Dave will be a sad panda. So another sort of dead card.
It'll get through the ice wall because he has Grimoire out.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But I don't think that's
I don't think
the least of his problems right now. David just
although to be fair,
breakers.
Still doesn't have a barrier breaker, so might not be the worst decision. If that piece in front of ice wall is a code gate, it's doable.
Right. I don't know. Does Blue Sun really play a whole lot of three?
Say, unless it's a toll booth, Blue Sun doesn't really care too much for code gates.
We did see that data pike.
We saw a data pike. Sometimes they run enigmas, but otherwise, other than toll booth, and more recently some wormholes, you don't really see a whole lot. Yeah, this doesn't seem like a wormhole Blue Sun deck.
But he can get up to a 5 strength at least.
Right.
So he could do something with the toll booth one time.
Yep.
Get in, get his data circles back, and just cycle that out.
But again, that's not super efficient. He's going to deja vu.
Goes back and finds Nerve Agent. He can get through the Caduceus. It's just not going to be the most efficient. But plays Nerve Agent. Going to play that Parasite and run.
Yeah, Parasite and run.
Yep.
For 4. He's going to see 2.
And then probably run there.
Oversight. 2 oversights. Wow, that's rough.
And we know the current wall is in his hands, so he can get it later.
And here comes the Adonis.
Hadrian's is on the board.
I'm confused.
to...
Did he take away enough for the... Yeah, okay, because he took away an out of 1, right.
All right, David now faced with a more frustrating HQ. But he has an SMC in hand, so if he goes and finds a David, he could get through there and deny him some credits. But I mean, he's
money
only
is
at
the
4,
issue, yeah.
right?
And he's over memory, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
6.
7, 6. Sorry, yeah. So I think Grimoire is. Can float there. All right. Oh, he's stem hacking. There we go. So stem hack. I assume he's gonna go find the David, break it, get through the current wall, and
no, he goes
the rest of his turn.
For a corroder.
And he's telling him it's gonna cost 11 to break with that corroder.
So yeah, I think he's probably gonna go for David. He doesn't want to go broke here.
Yeah. And I think using up your SMC to go find a David to deny the Corp 14 credits is a pretty solid play.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to use all of your David counters. Your SMC is gone, but now you're going to sit with a ton of, data sucker counters. They're going to have to take a turn to purge, or you're just going to access every card in their hand. And there's him going to use the Whizzard credits.
Yeah, seems like David's not super happy about how this is going.
Brain damage, loses the deja vu. Now if he runs again, he can see all the cards in hand, but I don't know how.
He knows, I think, what they all are at this point.
But now he's set up to put some pressure on. I mean, he doesn't have a barrier breaker. As Blue Sun, do you maybe pop the ice wall back and put it back? Oh, no, there it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, Alec manages to draw a piece of ice with Jackson. Otherwise, it could have been trouble for him.
Oh, and he has the Atlas in hand now.
Yep.
Runs, tries to Jackson. Alec pops it, pulls the Jackson back. Maybe gets an oversight back.
Well, at this point, you might consider getting the curtain wall back.
Or both. Just get back the whole combo.
Yeah.
Getting Caduceus and an oversight.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, he already has the Hadrians on the board, so
yep.
He might not want to get greedy over an extra 4 credits.
That's fair. And David's still unable to get past these barriers.
What does he have in this deck for economy? He has Stem Hacks, he has Lucky Finds, he has Sure Gambles, he has Dirty Launch. I mean, he has economy in this deck.
We just haven't seen him. Doing the Adonis combo.
Pulls, there's a toll booth. Cash.
Now he's going to be looking to over-advance Atlas this next turn. David's going to let him have it. He's just going to keep running at HQ. Reses another curtain wall, and that explains why he was fine with leaving that one in the bin. Doesn't really have anything he can do about it, though, without a scavenge or something to, reset the David. And seems unlikely that he's running the scavenge. He's going to install self-mod.
He's not. Let's see.
And then run it to scoring server. Interesting.
I mean, you only have 6 credits, and you're playing against Blue Sun. I don't think you're getting into there.
Running against Hive. Hive is going to have, what, 3 subroutines?
Yep.
So it's going to cost
4 to get in, even if he gets a Croter. Oh, he just parasites. There we go.
He just parasites it and kills it. That's smart.
He does need to trash the SMC to do that. There we go.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Alec has enough to res the Ash.
He does. And I don't think David has enough to beat any trace he can pump into it. Sets a trace 4. Yep, can't get through it, and Whizzard trashes it for next time.
Now, if you're Alec here, do you pick up? Okay, clearly not. You don't pick up the curtain wall. You just spend the 3 to advance and score. Are you really worried about anything by going broke here? You have ice in front of all of your centrals.
Yeah, I mean, you have 14 credits when you want it.
Right.
He's not getting through this turn, so you have a turn to kind of decide. Okay. And you want to put more pressure on.
Yep. And, yeah, this Atlas counter certainly does that.
Atlas counters are scary, scary things. Although I don't know if he's playing any Scorched Earth in the stack. Been seeing that a lot less.
But it's still a very good way to fetch that agenda that you need when you think you have a scoring window.
Or just to close out the game with hostile takeover.
Yeah, that's true.
If he gets to 6, then it's over next turn.
So installs on the root of HQ.
I think Michael was calling that play from another table.
Yeah, it sounded like it. It'd be hard to believe if it's not Chris Game Grid. And it looks like David's just gonna get some money.
Not gonna put the Adonis back out there.
Yep.
David keeps digging.
And Alec will pull up the curtain wall. I bet he's going to install ice in front of HQ, and he actually just drew the high-risk investment, so.
So he could possibly close this game out pretty quickly?
Yeah.
If he gets any kind of economy here going, I mean, David still doesn't have any real breakers to speak of.
Ooh, although questionable here. He puts Toll Booth down in front of his scoring, which David can get through.
Yeah, Yogg and 2 Data Sucker tokens. It cost him 3, but
in fact, he didn't even install. I don't even think he put the high-risk investment in that remote server.
No, I think that was the Adonis he put back down, try to get his economy going back again.
Maybe trying to get David to run into it. Didn't work. But he can't get through that barrier on HQ. So.
It's only one subber team. That's all he needs.
Yep.
So David trying to find enough to weigh in. Now he's drawing a breaker. Now he's drawing this Crypsis so he can get in anywhere given enough money. So I think he shifted now from looking for breakers to looking for economy.
Yeah.
I mean, if he gets into HQ, he is going to see 4 cards. So yeah, I think he's going to go ahead and play the Crypsis, click it, and then there we go. Yep. Pumps it, uses Data Sucker counters.
Yeah, he doesn't get the Data Sucker because Crucium.
He looks at 3 cards, which should be 4 cards. He didn't put the counter on. Oh, no, he didn't actually.
He doesn't get the counter,
but he still looks at 3. Yep.
But he does get the high-risk investment, so. But he draws another Atlas. Now, do you try and score this Atlas, or do you just try and go for the 5-3?
Well, you just put that Adonis down, but, I mean, he's at 1. This is a wide open scoring window, and if you do score the Atlas, like I said, you can use the other one to pull out the hostile takeover for the game. I don't know if he has hostile takeovers in his deck. I'm looking through his deck list, and it doesn't look like it. So he may not want to put himself in that vulnerable position. But, I mean, when you see this level of just openness from the runner, I mean, you kind of have to take advantage of it. The only problem is he's not going to be able to pull that Adonis back because he has to install over it, and so his source of economy is going to be gone for the foreseeable future. I think he may have had interns in his hand. I mean, he has the interns, I think, so he could probably get it back.
Now, with 5 money, he'll end up with +7 next turn.
Correct.
If he takes the Adonis up, do you just leave the Hadrian's Wall with the oversight and try and score in this window?
Yeah, I think at this point, if they're going to break through the Hadrian's Wall, the stealing the agenda and putting them at 5 points is a bigger issue to you than losing the 10 credits off of Hadrian's.
Right.
He's not in a position to do it. Now, unless David suddenly gets a big burst of economy, yeah, I think you just try to score out there without the oversight.
But he's going to pick up
Don't
Hadrian's.
listen to us. We're just here in the booth.
We don't play this game.
He's number 4 seed.
We just talk about it. It's true. It looks like he finds a priority requisition. So
he might just try to close the game out here.
Yeah, he's going to interns back Ash.
Setting it up.
See, now imagine if you had just picked up Adonis at the beginning of your turn, Alec. So he's going to put the Hadrian's back down. So David has to know that he's going to try and score something here soon. You wouldn't interns unless you're getting ready to do that, probably.
Yeah, you gotta know what you're doing with that. David looking at, let's see, a Hive Mind here, Deja Vu, Mimic.
But at this point, I think he just needs money and counters on Crypsis if he's going to try and get into that server.
But he's going to need a lot of money, though. Crypsis is 0 strength.
Alternatively, he could just go at HQ again. And at this point, that's a pretty good play. We know, because they're two agendas in hand,
and
that's game if he hits both.
Yeah, even if you're not sure. I mean, you're seeing 3 cards out of it. I don't know what this ice in front of it is. I don't remember. It may be the curtain wall back in there, and if that's the case, then David is kind of.
But he's going to deja vu for lucky find.
Yeah,
Nope, stim hack. Okay,
where's
even better.
Into? Probably into HQ.
Yeah, I would assume.
No, he's not going to play. He's going to get ready.
I think click 4. He's going to do it.
There you go.
Oh no, he doesn't have money. Never mind.
I mean, he has 2. He can play the stim hack, but that's going to be all the money he gets.
That's going to be all the money he's got.
I think he put 2 counters on Crypsis, though.
Yeah, he did. 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So the question is what he's doing for 4.
I mean, if that's curtain wall, you're not going to get in. You're going to get a brain damage. But.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yikes.
SMC for that day would be great here. He can pop it down 2 with the data suckers and get it to strength 8. He can pay 8 to get up and then 3 to break it. So he can break it, but then I think the hive is going to catch him. So he had 8 resources. Yeah, and then he's not going to have the 4 that he needs to get through the hive. And he's trying to check, make sure there's nothing he's missing.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way for him to get in.
On the upside, he doesn't know he's bought himself a couple of turns here. Well, no, because he's still blue sun. He's just going to pop it back.
He'll just pick up, hopefully, the Adonis this time. No?
No, he's going to pick up the current wall 14. I think he's going to install over the Adonis. I'd rather have the 14 right now than the 4. Because, I mean, I think that server is going to be secure enough for him.
Yeah, especially since David has now lost hand size and, well, okay, or he's just going to
install advance. Yeah, because he's got to get him through there twice with 2 credits.
Yeah, that's true.
Although now HQ is open, but I think there's only 2 points in it. Click 1, tries to find an answer, doesn't find it, I don't think. I think he pulled a showing off there.
There's a sure gamble, but it's not enough. He doesn't have enough money to play it.
Yeah, David just in a bad way here. I mean, he knows that one of these is going to be that Hadron's Wall. Yeah. And he goes to try to run HQ and see what he can find. And he sees all 3 of the cards. He's going to find 2 points, which is only, I think, going to upset him.
Yeah, and that's it. Alec gets to score that. Yeah, frustrating games for David. You know, when Blue Sun, yeah, that's Alex said it best. That's Blue Sun. When it gets going, it's just a wall. It's a brick wall of ice.
Yeah, I think if David had gotten a little different, a little better draws, he was in a good position in that game. He just pulled the wrong things at the wrong time. Some of it is your deck, and I think David just got a little shorted today.